Sitting here today, do you know how much money Ms. Hurd has actually donated to the ACLU, actually remitted to the ACLU?
Yes, I do.
How much is that?
So when you say remitted, do you mean direct payments from her personally, or do you mean payments on her behalf, or payments, from a donor-advised fund that she might have set up, or are you?
We can break it down. Let's first from how much has Ms. Hurd paid directly to the ACLU?
That would be $350,000 paid directly.
How much has been paid indirectly and credited to Ms. Hurd?
There was $100,000, which was a check from Johnny Depp. There was a $500,000 payment from a donor-advised fund at Vanguard, and then there was a $350,000 payment that appears to be from a donor-advised fund at Fidelity, making it total $1.2 million.
And when you speak of credited toward Amber Hurd, to what are you referring?
And I think I might have done the math wrong. Let me just do the math in my head. It's 700, 800 plus the 5. I think 1.3 is the amount. We received a check from for the $100,000 payment. We received a check from Johnny Depp's representatives, and it was said to be a payment in connection with on behalf of Amber Hurd. She confirmed that. The $500,000 payment from Vanguard Charitable, she confirmed was a payment on her behalf, and the $350,000 payment as well.
When you say credited toward her, what does that mean?
Well, she had, when we initially had contact with Amber Hurd in 2016, she indicated her desire to pay $3.5 million to the ACLU, and that was, and these were amounts that were in relation to that, her having expressed that that's what she wanted to pay to the ACLU.
So it's fair to say that she has not donated $3.5 million as of today to the ACLU, true?
True.
When you say that Mr. Depp, our client, donated $100,000 to be credited toward Amber Hurd, did the ACLU in fact credit that $100,000 toward the $3.5 million Ms. Hurd promised to donate to the ACLU?
We do credit it.
Did Ms. Hurd direct you to credit it to her account, as it were?
We asked Ms. Hurd if we should credit it, and she said that we should.
With what person or entity is Vanguard Charitable associated?
So Vanguard Charitable is a nonprofit that Vanguard, the financial institution, has set up that provides for a wide variety of donor-advised funds for individuals to use for their charitable giving. So there are thousands of Vanguard Charitable donor-advised funds. If you were asking specifically about the one that we received the $500,000 contribution from, we believe that that is a donor-advised fund that was set up by Elon Musk.
Who is Elon Musk?
He's a tech entrepreneur.
And isn't he also a donor to the ACLU Foundation in his own right?
Yes.
But it's your testimony that as to the $500,000 dollars that came from Vanguard Charitable, that was associated with Elon Musk, correct?
We believe so, but it is not conclusive.
Did the ACLU have any communications with Elon Musk about the $500,000 contribution?
Yes.
And please describe those communications.
There is a document that we produced that Elon Musk emails Anthony Romero regarding the $500,000 contribution.
What did Ms. Hurd tell Mr. Romero or the ACLU about her donation and how much she was going to contribute? There
were communications back and forth between the ACLU and Ms. Hurd, including a thank you acknowledgement letter that was sent under Mr. Romero's name to Ms. Hurd, thanking her for the $350,000 contribution, noting that it was part of her intention to make a $3.5 million contribution to the ACLU, and Mr. Romero attached to that communication a standard ACLU pledge form and so that was the communication. We were aware very early on that her intention to contribute the $3.5 million to us was half of her $7 million divorce proceedings. I don't recall which specific communication with us gave us that knowledge.
What, if any, understanding did the ACLU have prior to the publication of the op-ed about Ms. Hurd's plans to dispose of the other half of the $7 million settlement, or the other $3.5 million?
Yes, we understood that the other $3.5 million, the other half, was going to a children's hospital in Los Angeles.
When did the first donation, the $350,000 from Ms. Hurd, actually arrive at the ACLU?
It was very soon after the communication between Elon Musk and Anthony, and I believe that it was that communication was in August of 2016, and it was shortly thereafter.
Please describe your conversations with Ms. Weitz.
I asked Ms. Weitz whether it was her decision to ask Ms. Hurd to be an ACLU ambassador, and she indicated that it was. I asked Ms. Weitz to describe what are the criteria for, sorry, a calendar thing popped up. What are the criteria for asking for becoming an ACLU ambassador? And what were the reasons why she thought that Ms. Hurd would be an appropriate ACLU ambassador?
How did Ms. Weitz respond?
She said that ACLU ambassadors are people who are artists or influencers that are aligned with one or two ACLU policy issues. And the criteria for determining whether somebody can be an ambassador is that they have prior expertise in that policy area,